everything podcast where we say we totally enjoyed something. At least I did. It could be that easy. Not that I have a 13 bullet point list of things that could have done better. Nonetheless, I enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to hearing your edit. I know you had some cuts. Bye-bye.
Busy daddies to Sci-Fi. Busy daddies to Sci-Fi. Busy daddies to Sci-Fi. Busy daddies to Sci-Fi.
Okay. Yeah, we're good. Okay.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good morning.
No.
If I say good evening.
Nope. It's the right time. It's what
Good
time
morning.
it is. Damn it, Kevin. All right. I'm Kevin.
I'm George.
Are you?
I don't know.
Who are any of us anybody?
I'm feeling. I'm just questioning.
I like to think about the big questions.
Yeah, the big
really
questions.
big questions. The ones that keep me up at night.
Yeah.
For so long.
Yeah.
Too long.
Till I'm asleep.
Till I fall asleep, which is not that.
My eyes get heavy after I read about 7 pages.
Yeah, I get tired. It's been hot today, man. It was over 100 degrees.
I think I have a heat headache right now.
I've had one the past 7 months.
Yeah.
Should I get that?
That's syphilis.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't see.
That's.
We don't need to see the podcast.
Yeah.
Not a visual medium.
Who does, man? Yeah.
Oh, man.
I've cut out one of my eyes anyways. No one's going to check my numbers.
Oh, reference. That's good. They had a shorthand version of doing it this time around. Like a really quick way of finding out who was and was not.
Hello, George.
Yeah?
Where are we?
Where are
what
we?
are you doing? I don't
Hold
know.
on.
Bigger questions.
Okay, well, first of all,
bigger questions.
Who are we? Is the really big question.
Who are we? Which who are we?
We're bionic Drax double spider farming. I couldn't get that
that's
out.
Oh
boy, we could do better.
Syphilis eats away at the mind, and then the
slowly but surely
the basic functions go away, like tongue
usage.
Actually, George, I think we're Blade dudes dissing Soulless Freak.
That makes a little bit more sense. Yeah, especially in the context of what we're talking about. Yeah. No, it's been hot. It's a really good time to like hop into a theater and sit down and watch a movie for a long time. Maybe for like 2 hours and 49 minutes.
3 minutes.
43?
Yeah.
Oh, it felt like 49. Whoa.
I bet it did.
Wait a minute.
Did it? Dude.
What? Did I do that?
Your best segue, totally unplanned.
Completely unplanned.
What happened there?
I want to tell you what
the
my
syphilis
segue...
many people with artistic genius also had syphilis too. This is all making sense.
I want to tell you what my segue was going to be. Okay?
Yeah.
There's a stack of receipts over there on the other desk, and I was going to all of a sudden pull them out and start writing numbers and wait for you to go, George, what are you doing? And I was going to go, Kevin, what is 1,042 plus 1,007.
But instead I came up here, you were lying on the floor next to a bunch of receipts that were sprawled all over, and you would hit your head after losing consciousness?
Yeah.
Is that part of the syphilis too?
Part of it. Well,
blood flow.
No, that was mostly my crying because the answer I was crying in these receipts. The answer is 2049.
That's a whole different movie when you have the receipts.
But that is ironically, maybe not ironically, it's also the amount of money that my current dental work is going to be. So
2049, that's cheap.
It's a little more than that, actually. I'm making that up for purposes.
2049.
2040.
It's a hell of a. What if you wait till 2049 and maybe there'll be less teeth to work on, or the syphilis will have eroded your face?
Well, 49, I'll be that's not bad. I'll be almost 70, right? 49, 50.
I don't math so quick, which is why your receipts gag would have fallen on deaf eyes.
Deaf eyes. speaking of which, Deaf Eyes.
That's my band.
Jared
That's
Leto.
my new band.
Your new band, Deaf Eyes?
Yeah.
Really?
I don't know. Maybe it should be.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Let me
with the seltzer there,
hit
buddy.
you with the seltzer here, pal.
Thanks.
We're doing really well. We're loaded with all kinds of flavored seltzer.
Mm-hmm.
And that, as you may know, listeners, is a indicator that our masters are happy with our work.
Yep. Producer Vic, into it, supporting it.
So we don't
paid
really...
for the movie tickets on matinee, but paid for the movie tickets.
Yeah, not bad.
I had to buy my own popcorn.
Had to buy my own Dove chocolate bar. But
ice cream, you mean?
Yeah, ice cream.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
dipped
big.
in chocolate. So we don't really need to properly segue because we did Blade Runner last week.
Yeah.
Last episode.
Set it up right for you, people.
One would assume, unless we were crazy, we'd be doing Blade Runner 2049 since it's so timely and all.
Or we were entirely busy and had to watch something for Netflix again, which is an audible we have.
Thank God we got to this when we did, because this movie's gone. You'd be hard pressed to find it. It's gone. You'd be hard pressed to find it in the theater after this weekend.
Blade Runner 2049.
They're pulling it left and right just because it's not doing too well. And so what, right?
Yeah, I mean, not that I cared about much of any of that ever. But it seems to fascinate you, George.
Oh, no, it doesn't fascinate me.
Fixate.
I would like obsess
you.
I would like more people to have seen this movie, even though that doesn't affect my enjoyment of it. I would like more people to have had the same experience. And yeah, if this movie makes more money, then they're probably going to make more of these movies.
Well, so a cool thing, folks, you know that when we achieved a certain level of science fiction comprehension, we let go of all linearity. So we'll start this podcast with the ending.
I thought we were.
Can this movie be a next movie?
Oh, you mean we have a franchise here?
Could we? Yeah.
Do we have a franchise? That would. It's possible.
I mean, or does it go? Something about this movie made me feel like it could matrix itself into a brown paper bag, and then not be able to escape. Because what is next? It would be like the revolution. We'd have to see the revolution.
We'd have to see that, and
then it would.
We got the little starting pins of the replicant war is coming. We got the father and daughter reunited. Mm-hmm. We got some we could go several places with this. I never felt like it was being forced in my face, so I never felt like this is we live
not at all.
Right now, movies are so desperate to be franchises and to be the next Harry Potter, the next Marvel movies, the next Star Wars, that they are pretty much not making full movies anymore. They're making the first act of a movie and throwing that out there as a film. That was not the case with Blade Runner.
This was certainly a full movie. And really rewarding. And really pleasant. And it made sense in a really screwed up reality.
It was just really, really good. Man.
It was enjoyable.
It was very refreshing. It was, I could sit up here and I could just talk about what I loved about it. I loved what they borrowed from the Ridley Scott movie and what they kind of found on their own. The look was, you could see the pieces that they kind of nabbed from the original Blade Runner. Certainly some of the design elements, certainly some of the industrial aspects of the city. But then they had a ton of stuff that was just fresh and original. It starts off with a shot of a very familiar police car driving, but in an atmosphere we'd never really seen before. We're introduced to
bio meltdown. They got to slip in something that we all think about, which is what happens when we exhaust our resources and pollute ourselves to death, and they got to tinker with and set that world up.
They got a full-on...
And it's bad, man. We're farming grubs for protein, right?
We've got a full-on ecosystem collapse they talk about. And the Tyrell of this movie is Neander Wallace, who made a fortune by engineering livestock for sale, and basically saved the planet from starvation, and then went on to resurrect the Tyrell Corporation's replicant program. So we're treated to all that in, like a one-screen text. Here you go. This is what's going on. Oh, and by the way, there are some still out there. They get retired. People who retire them still called Blade Runners.
But those wouldn't be Nexus 6s because they had 4-year lifespan. So there's Nexus 8s that have a open-ended lifespan, and those are getting retired. As soon as you mentioned it, I realized that the Nexus 8s need to be retired.
Well, the Nexus 8s, now I don't believe K, who is Ryan Gosling's character, he is not a Nexus 8.
No, he's
down the line. He's down the line. They never really talk about what his model is. You just know that they've kind of perfected what it is. He doesn't run. He obeys orders, or so we're led to believe. But what we're getting at, and it's not immediately apparent, but we've got pretty much the evolution of these replicants. And we're treated to that in several different ways in this movie. We're treated to that in the idea that they can now do what all life can do. The idea that they can reproduce.
I think there's still a skin job, though. I loved it. It was really cool. There was a cop that told him to fuck off, skin job.
Oh, it was great.
And that level of just full on like I was just like, wouldn't you accept that you were working with skin jobs? But no, it just fuck off, skin job. Like that was cool. Because I thought he would have been integrated, and it was cool to see that little blast of hostility. And throughout he's going home. You show him get home from work after that first day.
And we're told immediately, in contrast to the whole mystery behind like Deckard, is he not a replicant from the first movie? We're told immediately that Kay is a replicant, and it's pretty apparent, like in a fight with Dave Bautista, who's fucking great in it.
That's Drax for people like me who don't know the names of actors.
He's fantastic in like a 5-minute role.
Hey, will Dave Bautista ever return to television, do you think, George?
I think he's actually like been back in the professional wrestling ring.
He's
not quite an Idris Elba
kind of status yet.
You got your go-tos, Kevin.
I love that. I could not believe the night you stated that so plainly to me.
I stated that so plainly. As though I had just gotten off the phone with him.
No, like you had just like read it in Us, dude.
Yeah. I know a lot about things that I like. So I like...
you had to open it and read the article because it's like a jump-out quote by him or something.
Right.
I'll never return to television.
I'll never return to television, then you got to dig a little deeper to find out why. It's interesting.
Not that really ever happened.
No.
Because you're a busy dad, and I can't imagine you reading Us magazine on top of watching all the, what is it, Bunny episodes. What's that show called? Bunny?
What?
The vampire, the wizard girl. No,
the wizard girl.
Buffy.
There we go.
Bunny the deer hunter.
So Bunny the werewolf killer, right? Is that show you watch?
Yeah, or all of what was it? Avenger. Jesus, man.
I like stuff, man. You got Nerd. Nerd is a pretty good cross section of. Intelligent and passionate, maybe with a little like social
illiteracy, maybe with a little illiteracy mixed in there.
You are hard sci-fi, all right, and that's your deal. Your deal is your hard sci-fi. You know that dude from Party Down who can't stand fantasy bullshit?
I don't recall him by face, but I remember that happens.
At one point, he's like talking to. For the first time in the entire run
I
of the
read
show.
fantasy, right?
I know.
I go back and forth.
Sure. You're hard sci-fi, Jeff.
I guess.
All right. Anyway, what were we talking about? Blade Runner.
Alistair Reynolds in the latest book I'm reading by him, which is awesome. We'll get to that later, people.
You would hate the book I just finished. I just finished It Devours by Joseph Fink, which is the
other Night Vale.
Welcome to Night Vale.
Okay, why would I hate that?
I don't think you'd enjoy it. It's very bubblegummy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
But is it a bunch of Night Vale stories?
No, it's a story. It's a science
So I thought it was
horror.
part 2 of Night Vale.
No, Welcome to Night Vale. Like they're completely standalone stories.
I knew that.
That take
I thought
place
I thought he released another batch of Night Vale stuff.
No.
He just released his second book.
Released the second book. Yeah.
Called It Devours.
It devours.
Time and space and
It
your
devours,
life.
and it's about the god of the Sacred Congregation of the Smiling God, which is a local cult in Night Vale. What are we talking about?
I don't know. Listener,
Wow.
you're probably fascinated.
Did you guys just
because,
completely glaze over?
God, and that's,
Wow. Anyway, Drax.
I didn't glaze over. I was pretty into
Drax
that.
was pretty good in this movie.
That was fun,
and
yes.
then he
had
dies.
glasses in it, yeah.
And
but
then-
for a reason.
Yeah. I mean, he needs
Just
to
another part of the puzzle.
needs to be retired. Another part of the
Yeah.
puzzle. Mentions a miracle.
Mentions a miracle.
Which is what I was talking about earlier, because like the
That's
first
un
movie...
milagro
Un,
to our Spanish-speaking audience.
Un milagro.
That was Japanese
Yeah.
for I've got to shit my pants. I don't know what
That's the one that's just gone. It's the vowel
It's the
movement.
one that slipped away.
Oh, boy.
I've got to press pause on this recording.
It devours. Miracula. Anyway.
Miracula?
Sure.
Is that Italian?
No, that's a 1920s crime fighter. Miracula.
Is his sidekick El Gigolo?
El Gigolo. Miracula, where are we going this week? Having more fun than I should be right now.
Oh,
But,
yeah, if you laugh too hard, the syphilis will just break the blood
Break the
vein.
blood veins.
Yeah.
Oh, boy, that's how Howard Hughes died. But
Laughing?
no, syphilis. That is actually how he died. But miracle. And like the first Blade Runner, we've got kind of an old-fashioned detective noir story going on here. There's a mission. There's a quest.
Yeah, and clearly Gosling's, what's his name?
K.
K.
Or Joe.
He's kind of working with his lieutenant or whatever, and he kind of solves stuff for her. He's a real good one.
Yeah.
And you get the picture. There's not many. As a matter of fact, I don't think we see another Blade Runner. So he's just kind of like a smaller unit hunting down some last stuff, and they have liberties to kind of just put stuff under the rug if they need to. And
Certainly seem that way, yeah.
But that miracle's mentioned. We find some bones after this first scene's been forensically investigated, and this woman died in childbirth, but on that bone is a serial number for a Nexus model, and that ain't supposed to happen, people. So very quickly, you get your miracle lit up within the 30 minutes.
Yeah,
and
easily.
And then we're looking for the first child of a Nexus model. Born of human seed, and then
at that moment,
and then you start to imagine who's doing who.
Exactly. At that moment, I started to put the pieces together of where I thought they might be going, and I was disappointed. Because I went, oh, fuck. Ryan Gosling kind of looks like a young Harrison Ford.
Well, regardless of who the child might be,
Yeah.
I said to myself, man, Harrison Ford's got his seed all over these franchises, dude. He's got
does, man. He was asked in an interview.
He's El Gigolo. He's Miraculo's sidekick.
He's Miraculo's sidekick. He was asked. He was at a convention, and a fan said, like, sardonically, like asking him, like, "So, Mr. Ford, are you basically just gonna remake all the old movies?" And he got up and he said, "You're goddamn right, I am."
Yeah.
So I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
And we, this is not like the Deckard show by any means. We don't see him for
and that's a blessing. Part of
really.
me thought that at minute 30, Ryan Gosling and Harrison Ford team up and they go solve some shit.
That is what I was expecting.
And
yeah,
I'm so grateful.
Me too.
Because Ryan Gosling is great in it.
He's understated, and there's like an innocence to him. He's really smooth. Like all his fight scenes and everything, it's like very fluid, and he moves kind of like a machine. He's got the super strength and everything, but he's a good guy, which is the weird thing. He's a robot, but he's a good guy. He's in love with an artificial intelligence program that he has at home.
Which took us down the her hole, which should not be said.
The her hole. Even though it now has been. We went down the her hole. You know what? While that movie was going on, while I was watching this, I went, okay, they just did Her better than Her did.
Well, I had a problem with that. I thought someone would be savvy enough to not use that scene again.
Oh, you thought it was a little too close?
The AI lover hired a real woman who was familiar with the idea that when you sort of graft with it, your human lover can experience human sex, even though it's a dirty prostitute.
I didn't make the connection.
And I just went, I thought it was one of the longer scenes and superfluous.
Oh, it was totally out of, like, one thing I didn't need it.
I already got that he was totally in love with the AI, and it wasn't ringing a her bell at that point.
Yeah. I guess they felt like they needed to have that girl in one more scene because of later on that she shows up. That entire aspect of the movie is actually one of the weaker elements. The fact that there's this prostitute that's told, hey, go spy on this Blade Runner.
Yeah.
And it builds later on until we're given like these little seeds of, hey, there might be a replicant uprising. That whole thing could have been deleted because it's actually kind of sloppy and weak.
Well, he had to get tracked to be rescued by them.
But what I mean is like it begs for like we were talking about before, like just in case there's a sequel, we got some place to go now, you know. They could have done something different, is what I mean.
Well, and I don't
doesn't matter.
Replicant Underground, maybe not trying to make a rising, I think had to be here. And so let's step into some of the larger ideas which perhaps weren't as useful. Okay. Like why have a revolution? And we need to have a revolution because the replicants know they've had a baby, and Jared Leto's character know there's been a baby.
Yes.
And Jared Leto's after it because Jared Leto's been trying to make a fertile womb in these replicants, and he's too crazy.
His motivations are purely capitalistic, right? Like he's basically, I need this race to start having babies because I can't make them quick enough. Like we need a slave race.
No, I felt he kind of thought that there was a liberating factor to them too.
Oh, so
they were like his children, and there were millions of one. He wanted the same idea that the replicants wanted, but he was willing to go hurt people for it. He also was prone to rambling and saying stupid shit, which I thought was not necessary. His thrust was not believable. A man who saves the ecosystem, I don't think would have this dark thread and this bad Batman movie character or whatever, this bad guy. I didn't believe that he had to be that bad, and it slowed the movie down. I was like, great. Well, he's got, like, you know, in The Boss, he's all powerful. I'm like, great. He's got Harrison Ford. Now he's got to flex this leverage, and everything really weakened up then. As soon as he kind of spaced out and mumbled about how he had a dream or something, you know, like, and I'm like, all that stuff written, and it wasn't him. It was those lines and what they wanted to do with that character, which I was just like, get on with it. Now I know he's got to send out bad guys. I get the thrust.
Right. I mean, like the thing
bothered
is that
me.
I agree with you in that it became you know, two-dimensional and comic book villainy. I thought he could have been better served if like he was removed from the more like violent. I mean, the moment we see him he's immediately like slashing open the belly of a replicant
because the
overly violent. He's if he had removed himself from that and was unknowingly advocating Love, who is his replicant sidekick, for want of a better word.
Yeah.
If she was the one who was
then you've got two replicant factions who are both wanting to get the child to crack the case, the puzzle of how do you make them reproduce.
If his motivations were more altruistic, like I just want these people to serve, like that would have been a bit better. Because as it was, he was just like. And
you said it comic book. I don't remember the lines, but like. That like dreamy, like I'm gonna murder you, but there's like optimism and like just
I need races upon races upon
I can bring you things, not just pain.
Yeah.
Here's Rachel, and he brings back a cyborg of Rachel, and that was cheap.
I enjoyed. I actually removed from the rest of his scenes.
What do you think? Harrison Ford was going to go, you know what, buddy? You're right. I'm going to lead you to the kid.
No, but I
thought
you
didn't need it.
I thought that was a display of his ability, his power, and talking to somebody who might.
But we've already been told that bluntly because he was
we need that scene because we needed to address the whether Deckard is or is not a replicant, and that helps to establish how unimportant that question is.
I didn't need to know that. I thought they were going to tell us.
I didn't need to know it.
But there's no way he could be a replicant because he'd be dead at the current state of technology.
That's not necessarily true.
That is true.
Because he does not know. Neander Wallace states, I don't know if Tyrell designed you just so you could meet Rachel and procreate. So that possibly Deckard is this amazing anomaly. You know, that's a possibility. It's raised in the movie. And it's kind of washed away because it doesn't matter because Deckard says, I know what's real.
You don't think Tyrell would have fixed Roy Batty? Or at least leveled with him?
No, I don't. I think he agreed with him that he could not fix Roy Batty.
I don't think you could build one.
I'm not saying that I think Deckard is a replicant. I'm sticking with it doesn't fucking matter.
I'm just saying it doesn't matter, but I don't think the world supports a longer living one.
But the world wouldn't have supported a conceiving one either.
That's not true.
You haven't seen a miracle, Kevin.
Un Malarco? What?
I don't think I could do it again.
You didn't do it in the first place.
I thought that scene with him and Harrison Ford was pretty fantastic. Outside of that, I agree with you completely that the dead-eyed, genius, tortured, evil for the sake of evil, yet also somehow like world savior was just stupid. He was the weakest part of this movie. And I don't mean him. I don't mean Jared Leto. I mean,
Jared Leto at work. A guy who hadn't seen the movie was like, "Well, I heard Jared Leto wore those blinding contacts, like out off the set and stuff." And
he does that shit, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's method acting. But
he also was
didn't he? Didn't he?
He would do weird shit. He was the Joker in Suicide Squad,
right?
And he did really, really weird shit to all the cast members, and was the Joker.
If he was reading a script, it's not his fault. If wearing those fucking blinding contacts offset brought us to the Jared Leto we saw, then he bombed it.
Yeah, he blew it. Yeah.
Just I've got a method which is going to make me more stereotypical. Yeah, I mean, because that's the thing. I can't tell you when you just put words to it like comic book villainy but altruistic. That nutsy, the comic book guy, the comic book bad guy's always telling you shit like that. I can't name others like that, but as soon as he got into it, I was like, this fucking dude, this fucking guy, man, that guy, and that was just boring.
I'm so rich and powerful, and I can create life. Where are my little cameras? Love was fantastic, though.
She was awesome.
She was freaking great. Like ruthless when she's stealing Rachel's bones. Oh, by the way, listener,
that was awesome. Yeah.
The bones that are found belong to Rachel, belong to Sean Young from the first Blade Runner.
Because she had sex with a human. Harrison Ford.
Maybe.
Or
maybe a replicant.
A replicant? We don't know.
We don't know. And she gave birth, and that's who we're looking for. We're looking for this kid. And for a while, it seems like they are pushing you in the direction that Kay, Ryan Gosling, is this child. And that's when I spoke earlier about being disappointed. I was like, we're going to do this. So now I'm going to watch this movie, and we're going to go from A to B to C. And guess what? Deckard, I'm
now
your
I don't know
son.
what this is. I was totally prepared to have him go, Deckard, I'm your son.
I thought it was too easy.
But they broke it off quicker than that, and we find out that, in fact, there's a puzzle been put in place, and there's some people who don't even know that they're this person, and there's people that are willing to step out of people's lives to not even know the truth, or lie down and get killed, as is alluded to by the Dave Bautista character when the woman says that that's why he let you kill him.
Even Deckard is himself willing to, like, the plan he mentions involved him disappearing from his kid's life. So Deckard himself is willing to die to protect the identity of this child. What I really, really loved was this movie then, like, kind of stopped becoming about Kay. It was no longer really his story anymore, and there were, like, subtle things. Like, it almost seemed like, I remember watching it, and during, like, a fight scene after we find out that he is not the child, I was like, hey, he's a little sloppier now, like, I'm like, I'm not rooting, not that I wasn't rooting for him, but I'm like, he seems a little bit more schlubby. They started shooting it, like, a little differently.
It definitely opened it up, because you don't need him to stay around.
Yeah, he wasn't exceptional.
So you're like, what are they going to do here?
It was not like they were just shooting it like a normal kind of thing, even though it doesn't take away from the evolution of this character and the evolution of him as a replicant, because he goes fully from, I am a replicant, I work for the LAPD, I am following orders, to now I'm questioning whether or not I was born, and does that mean I have a soul? And now I'm feeling these emotions, and now, oh, wait a minute, shit, I am just a robot. And I'm still feeling these emotions, I'm still driven by this quest, and all this really fucking cool stuff that, like, shows that he's much more than the sum of his parts,
And then what's the line? The most human thing we can do is put up a fight or something.
What is the
something that old One Eye says?
Old One Eye says that?
Yeah.
Die for a cause or something.
Right.
Yeah. One Eye. I didn't like her.
Which I liked.
She was
her.
one of the few, like, throwaway characters that I didn't. This movie had a lot of really good throwaway characters. Well, what would be throwaway characters otherwise? Like, Drax was great. We talked about Robin Wright as Madam was great. Even like the guy in the, like, morgue, the mortician guy who's doing the
he was totally
he was cool.
Yeah, he was cool.
Yeah, just, like, really, really good use of what are totally disposable characters. Joy is fantastic, who is Kay's artificial intelligent girlfriend. She's great. I mean, he is, like, full on in love with her and believable.
Yeah. And he takes her on a stick drive.
Yeah.
And she has tech where she can kind of be turned on and, like, drive in the driver's seat with you and stuff.
That's a great line, too, when he says to her, if anything happens to this stick drive, like, you're gone. And she says, just like a real girl. Like, she's not saved, she's not backed up anymore.
Yeah.
It did cool stuff that I was not expecting. And it does a lot of it in the first. We don't get to Harrison Ford for, like, an hour and a half. And he's in, like, irradiated Las Vegas, man.
Growing bees.
Yeah. Typical, living with a dog. Whiskey drinking dog.
And they say, is that dog real or not? And Harrison Ford says, ask him. And it's an entendre. I thought it was like about the whiskey. Like if and the dog would answer, yeah,
and the dog would say, yeah, it's real.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's pretty good. That's rich.
Smooth. Because it's whiskey.
Yeah.
Yeah. Except for the cheap shit. Burns.
Ugh,
Burns.
Huh.
Ah, yeah.
But
I'll
get you.
Yeah, so the podcast's over.
Podcast is over?
I don't know. What else you got?
Well,
I mean, it was great. So we have a crisis.
You're right, though, right? Because that's it. We talk about what's good. And we're done.
No.
We're done.
We talk about what's bad. This is the crisis
shit,
here. This
you're
is
right.
This
so
is
we got
what we
nothing
sought counseling for.
Here.
Yep.
Oh, this is going to be terrible.
Mm-hmm. So, Busy Daddy, existential crisis. Why can't we have a good show if we like the movie? Because as I said to George, great, now we got to go record one about a movie we both liked.
It's like, yeah, we just turn on mics and we sit here as cheerleaders. Go see Blade Runner 2049.
And it's cool. You'll like it too.
You know why you should see it? Because it was good science fiction.
Yeah. And we're afraid to be mediocre. And mediocre people just say, well, I mean, some of us are trying to come back from mediocre, but it's not that. I'm trying to form thoughts of why it.
Well, I demand
like great. We're just gonna read. What else? What did we do? What have we done where it was just like, yay, we liked it?
Well, there've been
listener. You can email us and let us know.
There have been plenty, or I mean, like the Oat Studio shorts. The problem is when we don't have some level of fundamental disagreement about things. Like the most interesting part of this podcast is going to be that we disagree a bit about Jared Leto. You think it was completely contrived and stupid, and I'm like, oh, it was not terrible. There were certain things,
One thing though, when I went to podcast school, if you keep bringing up the same subject, do you want to have the Jared Leto argument again? That's when they turn off the podcast and decide to call their mothers while they're on commuting.
What was with his hair? It was really.
I'm sure he insisted upon it.
It's no, guys, don't you get it? I'm so method. There's a great line from the movie Marathon Man that had John Gielgud and Dustin Hoffman.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Dustin Hoffman and Laurence Olivier.
Yes.
And Dustin Hoffman.
You see how I said yes both times?
Yeah, I loved it. Dustin Hoffman was a wreck, hadn't shaved, was getting drunk and staying up really, really late to get into his character. Get really, really into his character. And Laurence Olivier asks him one time, he's like, Dustin, what's wrong, man? He's like, oh, I'm trying to get really into my character. I'm not sleeping. I haven't shaved. I haven't brushed my teeth in 2 weeks. And Laurence Olivier goes, my dear boy, why don't you try acting? Love that.
That's good.
Love it.
Good.
Right? Because that's what it is. You don't need to. Well, I don't know. I'm not an actor.
We don't know. We can't. This is not a podcasting about acting.
I can say.
You want to know about asking?
Asking.
Asking.
You
want to know about acting?
You can ask
the next guy who busses your plate.
Yay.
Hey.
LA joke.
Hey.
Los Angeles.
You want to know about bartending? Ask the next guy you see writing a screenplay in a Starbucks.
Ask the bartender, how's his screenplay coming? You can do that in La La Land. So, like we were saying, conflict between me and you kind of breeds a bit of a better podcast. But we are... It's more fun to make fun of something that just didn't get it right, I think.
Well, it's easier.
It's certainly easier to just rag on something. But I mean, it comes down to that whole idea that like being a critic is incredibly easy. It's like it's so much easier to just like look at something and find the flaws in it than it is to actually create something.
Mm-hmm.
So
this is riveting. When
we
George.
sit here and we agree on pretty much 95%
right now.
Because that breeds entertaining podcasting.
Listener, just listen to me, man, George. I think he can't hear me right now.
Like 95% of us, we
it's...
agree on most of what we liked about this movie. So Really? I don't know what the hell I'm talking about right now.
He went into something. 95 us agree about
Kevin
what?
got a haircut and it looks terrible. I don't have the heart to tell him.
Yeah. Hey, just don't brush your teeth for a couple days, weeks.
You'll,
don't sleep much and you'll like it much
now
better.
He's talking about,
try brushing.
Now he's talking about the $2,000 that I'm going to have to pay the dentist. It's all this seltzer.
Whew.
Anyway.
Yeah. So, but
existential crisis.
You know, it's easy to say this movie is way cool. This movie satisfied my science fiction bug. If more movies were made like this, I'd be at more movies. You never obviously know that until you see them. This was fun. This was cool. This made me think, which I think is what I like in something. It was beautiful. It was a long movie that trucked along like a Tarkovsky.
Yeah.
I now know what those snide young people in the Vulcan video in Austin, Texas were talking about when they said it trucks along like a Tarkovsky. They had got to the place.
That was a quote from Vulcan Video in Austin. They said they would say that to you. Trucks along. Like
we heard them chuckle at each other. It trucks along like a Tarkovsky, but maybe they had finally put their finger on the pulse of when the movie is so long and so good that it doesn't feel like it. I was not watching my clock.
Me either.
I was into it. I was gonna eat it all.
Yeah. Yeah, we are treated to. Thank you for saying beautiful, because we are treated to lots of really melodic moments, mostly taking place in his car as he's like the original Blade Runner, as he's going from destination to destination.
Great score, by the way.
Great score,
totally
man.
kick-ass music.
Really, really cool stuff. Almost reminded me of This Quiet Earth, which was the music was done by Tangerine Dream for that movie. And I loved. Did you ever see The Quiet Earth?
No.
No.
But I listened to Tangerine Dream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They did a lot of movie scores, didn't they?
They do.
Yeah.
Vangelis did the original for Blade Runner. Who did this music?
I don't know.
Damn that anti-Google policy.
No. We're gonna have to check it out after. Wait, are we allowed to Bing?
I don't know.
Which is Microsoft's answer to Google.
Bing knows, I'm pretty sure, how you caught syphilis, dude. I would not do that.
That was Binging.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Hey, Binging the old replicant. That's how you get a baby.
Yeah.
Baby replicant. Mm-hmm.
By the way, people, listen to the band Chrome if you want to listen to the music that replicants would make.
It's Google's answer to Bing. Chrome.
Isn't it?
Yeah. Isn't it, though?
Isn't it?
Didn't it? Didn't he?
Didn't he?
Didn't he there?
Didn't he?
That old
Didn't
Jared
he?
Leto. Oh,
Yeah,
did
so he got
got
into his limo and went, oh, wow. I mean, yeah, cool if you're into it, man.
I know it's real.
What's real?
Built-in laid.
Build and laid?
Oh, not built. Never mind.
What?
Just
What was that?
rewind your memory a few seconds. A couple people left my theater in the middle of it.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, I got really judgmental. I went, man, stupid people.
Stupid
people ruining shit.
You wouldn't judge a person.
I did though.
Yeah.
I was like, I am not gonna get another movie like this for a long time because of those people leaving. And
what do you mean you're not going to get another movie like this?
I'm not gonna get. I want these movies to make money.
Oh, you mean they got their money. But I get what you're saying. When people leave and these are poorly attended, we're always going to get movies like this, George.
Yeah, I know.
They're few and far between, and they're good.
Now,
this guy, by the way, so I don't remember names of people, but this movie's made by the dude who made Arrival.
He made Arrival.
So go figure.
He made Sicario.
That movie sucks. I've never
apparently,
seen it.
Like I've been told, this guy is like he's made 8 great movies.
He's definitely never going back to television.
No. He would.
He would.
Because
he'd pull a fast one.
He'd be like, guess where I am, guys.
Television. Hey, yeah. I've got Jared Leto method acting over here.
Movies are
He's a cameraman now. See how cool this show is. He's blind.
He's a cameraman because he's playing a cameraman a year from now. So
yes.
He moved into a studio in Burbank to play a cameraman.
So that busboy?
Total method.
He said, hey, man, you know what your motivation is tonight? to be the best fucking busboy you can, dude. So please get the right glasses and the right lugs, because I got to touch all the shit you don't do. That's a flashback from Cater World. Yeah.
Bit, yeah.
That's your motivation, buddy.
Holy
the
shit.
best bar back ever. The best busboy. Bust those plates. Hey, those jack stands, they're not going to clear themselves, man.
Oh, man. Kevin just got heated there, man.
Mm-hmm.
So
I've been one, by the way.
We obviously we couldn't write a better version of this movie. This was
Jared Leto, less maniac, more altruistic. I think you hit it. Less a little more unknowing.
I'd say get rid of the whole replicant uprising subplot. It's not there's nothing almost there to begin with. Get rid of that girl. It's awkward when she says, you must kill Deckard. I don't know if that's what she actually sounded like.
Something.
You must kill Deckard. Go kill him.
I kind of thought that was cool.
Like, why? Why go kill him? Go fuck yourself, lady.
Well, I kind of thought Deckard would have accepted that. I thought Deckard was going to get killed, and I thought he was going to go gracefully.
I think what the plan was, old Johnny Deadeyes was going to take him off-world, and he said, I have everything I need to get the information out of you. So I think he was either going to be tortured, or if he is a replicant, opened up, and they're going to get that info. So yeah, he probably would have ended up dead eventually, so they're like, we got to kill him before he rats out that, hey, there's this crazy one-eyed lady that's leading
that
a
has hid
robot
the kid somewhere
uprising and has got the kid hidden in a big fish tank making memories. Oh,
yeah.
and you know her.
Yeah,
because
she's been designing great memories for replicants for like 23 years.
You've been paying her a lot of money, actually, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool stuff with the like expansion of the world. You could tell it's gotten like a little bit more seedy.
Hold up. Yeah, a little more. Yeah, well, no, decline.
Yeah,
Decline is
total
coming.
decline.
I wanted to let the listeners know that we are going to spoil this movie.
Oh, yeah, shit, we already did that, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
Okay.
Line them up there.
Cheers, bartender. Yeah.
Line them up, Jared.
Hey, do we have some reader mail?
Oh, yeah, we do. Yeah,
Okay.
we have listener mail. Do we have like a jingle or something to go with the...
What is pipe in the Blade Runner music there?
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, yeah, we not too much, but you remember back at the Orville episode, I was kind of curious why exactly the ship was named Orville.
Yeah.
Well, Ryan let us know on our website that it's named after Orville Wright. ... as in the Wright brothers.
You idiots.
Now, I'm willing to bet in that ... is a... How the hell do you not know this? There's like a... It's named after Orville Wright ... as in the Wright brothers. Yeah.
Ryan, I respectively beg to differ. And
Well,
unless you know, did Seth MacFarlane say so, man, or what? Is that your guess? Okay.
Yeah. Why not the Wilbur?
I love you and I welcome you to listen to more of our shows. Please buy our T-shirts and bumper stickers.
Thank you, Ryan. We don't have bumper stickers yet. No. Well, we have bumper stickers on the T-shirts.
Listener, would you wear a shirt that says William Gibson hates you? That was the original design for a Busy Dad's Sci-Fi shirt.
Well, what if it said William Gibson hates you, and on the back it said, but George and Kevin love you.
Wong, wong, wong.
And we got another one from Jane, who said regarding our Dr. What episode.
Dr.
Was it
Y.
Dr.
Genius
Y.
title.
Only one episode on Doctor Who. What is wrong with you guys? Especially when more time was spent discussing Burgess Meredith than the TARDIS or any of the companions. I'll be waiting for the next episode when you discuss how amazingly great it is to have a female doctor. Yeah, guys aren't the only ones who like cheesy. Well, thank you, Jane.
You're saying there's a female to play doctor with?
Yeah, that's what's going on. Oh, hey!
Hey! You know what I just pulled?
talking
I just
about-
pulled a Burgess Meredith on you.
Meredith Burgess there.
Yeah.
Bing!
Yeah. That Bing sponsorship better come through.
Really
man. I
better,
feel really
man. Otherwise,
obnoxious
we're
saying Bing all the
gonna,
time.
We're gonna
dude.
end up paying them.
Yeah. Can't afford that after the
I already paid
Reddit
them.
debacle.
I only paid them yearly for use of Microsoft Office. For crying out loud.
TMI.
What? Too much? Really?
I like how you half figured. Too much? Really?
A little slow. It's the syphilis.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's either syphilis or just maybe a cold.
Oh,
but
7 months. That's about how long a cold lasts, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. For you? Yeah.
Now, when I wake up in the morning, my eyes are bleeding. Do you?
That's just postnasal drip.
Okay, that's what I thought it was.
Yeah. No,
That's
you're cool, man.
I don't Google
cool.
my symptoms, and I don't. What's the word for it? I don't believe in doctors. So.
Yeah.
Pretty much what I do is the same thing I've done for the last 20 years.
Prayer and fasting.
I pray.
Usually handles that.
I pray. I put a ring of garlic around my neck, and I swish with paint thinner after I brush my teeth.
Which is why you have a $2,400 dental bill you should pay.
It's not $2,400.
What was it?
It's $2,049. That was with some haggling too. That was with apparently my teeth are under warranty though.
Really?
Yeah, which I think means I don't technically own them.
And that means you have a 4-year lifespan. Yeah, and you're going to get retired soon. Yeah.
Retired. Hey, that's...
Allison had a nice run. You gave her some good years, George.
This is true. And the boys, too.
I mean, she's through pictures and videos, I mean,
got to record like a little hologram of my life and everything.
With a straitjacket bleeding from the eyes.
That was
in a syphilis ward.
Remember me how I was. Oh, it's the bugs. The bugs are back. Gaff, who is Edward James Olmos's character.
Yes.
He pretty much lays some Deckard is a replicant talk on the line there when he's talking. Kay goes to visit him. It's now Edward James Olmos 30 years later in a nursing home, and he says to him he's retired, and he also says something in his eyes. And in the original movie, replicant's eyes would glow,
which his never did.
Deckard's did not.
Yeah.
No, but
I don't. This is not entertainment to me.
People are
to talk about this. What's the word on the street, buddy?
Word on the street?
Yeah.
Well, the cool word or the word? The word is that he's a
there was multiple.
Harrison Ford is insistent that Deckard is a human, and that is to maintain a human connection, and that especially in this movie, it's sorely needed. Because it's a very, for the most part, kind of sterile movie. You need that, this guy's a human. And there are a lot of replicants in this movie. We're dealing with a lot of, Kay and Love it's like the Kay and Love show for the most part.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, good. There we go. I got Kevin. I got him to finally glaze over. I don't know. I start talking about interesting shit, and Kevin just departs.
Yeah. Listener, I have suffered through the mote in God's eye by, as you now well know, this took 3 episodes to finish this book by Larry Niven and Jerry Pournelle. And there's a blurb on this. It says, Robert Heinlein says, maybe one of the single most best science fiction books I've ever read. It was written in 1974. It is so crappy.
Whoa.
Or so 75-ish. It's just dated. It was hard to form words about it. In 3 nights, I'm 80 pages into The Prefect by Alistair Reynolds, which is the earliest novel you can get out of the Revelation space world, which, having read 4/5 of that universe...
So you out of order here? Or does it not matter?
I took it from the beginning and ran to the end.
Just like
and there's
podcast.
2 more that I wanted, that I returned to. But so they're prequels in a way. But knowing the end of the run, there are so many cool things that are embedded there. If you had read this, and listener, be wary of this. If you had read this in the order that they were published, which is the book I'm reading now, The Prefect was the second one written, I think, or the third. He went back in time. I know this is riveting. You wouldn't have enough. You wouldn't have much fill in, and it's totally cool now to know the run of these things, but then watch people still puzzling over universes that were just touched on in the rest of the books. Amazing stuff, and I really think that's why Larry Niven pales in comparison. I am starting to wonder what will happen when I've read all of Alistair Reynolds' stuff.
That made me just wonder what it would be like to go see Blade Runner 2049 and then go watch Blade Runner. Well,
I'll tell you what, I don't think this often. I'd go see Blade Runner 2049 again.
I would too. Yeah.
And there's no we're busy. There's no need for thinking that thought, right? And I was like, I'd see that again. By Sunday. I saw it Saturday. By Sunday, I was like that. Maybe now it's not as I saw it by myself. Later show. It's something I think I'd like to take Allison to see too. It's one of those I'd like her to. She does not remember Blade Runner though. That is typical.
Of who, Kevin? Of whom? Of what?
I guess, yeah.
Of people?
I know you got to play it safe tonight
what are you
because
talking
of
about?
the syphilis references and the.
Yeah, that's pretty bad, man. We lost all those people.
We were going to lose them anyways, George.
They had a little bit more time,
with us buying T-shirts and bumper stickers.
And one does have to ask: is that quality time?
Well, if you're so crazy, is it quality time spending with us?
I think so.
Oh, totally. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I enjoy myself.
I do too.
Yeah, I even enjoy you.
A little too much.
Yeah.
I would like to move to a cave and just pretend to record these podcasts with
you. George.
I'll tell you right now, man. These microphones ain't even plugged in.
Yeah. I can't get out. I can't leave, can I?
Lock.
You're going nowhere.
I'm going to put on my Jared Leto eyes.
Yeah.
And wig. Creepy.
Yeah, George.
Creepy, dude, man.
We were trying to not be so hostile.
Oh, not me, Jared Leto.
Yeah. No, you. Just then.
Yeah, you're right to call me.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I think... Go ahead.
Remember, folks, the syphilis, it attacks the brain, as clearly evidenced
and the teeth.
by this episode.
Gets the teeth first. Good night, nurse.
Good night, nurse. He needs it.